Yo, what's going on, man? It's Mo Saleem here from TripleUT.com, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Evolution Nutrition Testosterone Booster EVL Test. So before diving into the review, 3 quick points. The first is that I do not have personal experience with EVL Test. Instead, what I've done for this review is look through each one of its ingredients and dug out all the applicable scientific research that has looked at whether the ingredient is actually proven in human research to boost testosterone levels in men. Second thing is that I do not have an affiliation with Evolution Nutrition, so whether you decide to buy or not does not make a financial difference to me. And the third thing is that if you want to naturally increase your testosterone levels, try supplements, go ahead, do what you want, but the first thing to keep in mind when trying to naturally increase your testosterone levels is that the most drastic difference that you can make to them is diet and lifestyle changes. All right, you have to combine supplementation with diet and lifestyle changes first, otherwise you will not see any results. With that being said, let's dive into the EVL Test ingredient formula. Alright, so the first ingredient in EVL Test is 1000 IU of vitamin D. Vitamin D is a very critical component for testosterone production, and multiple studies have found that men with deficient levels of vitamin D have significantly lower testosterone levels than men who have sufficient levels of vitamin D. Your skin synthesizes vitamin D upon exposure to the sun, but since we spend less time outdoors these days, vitamin D deficiency has actually become the most common micronutrient deficiency in Western developed countries. Some estimates tell us that over 70% of the American population is deficient in vitamin D. So yeah, vitamin D is very important for testosterone, and if you currently have deficient levels of it, then optimizing your vitamin D levels can significantly increase your testosterone. That being said, the dose in EVL Test is only 1000 IU. That's nowhere near enough the amount needed to actually optimize your levels. A dose of 2,000 to 5,000 IU would have been better. Nonetheless, it doesn't hurt, alright? Next up on the EVL Test ingredient formula is a ZMA complex. And ZMA is a combination of zinc, magnesium, and B vitamins. Zinc and magnesium are the other two key micronutrients that are very important for testosterone. So if you're not getting adequate amounts of them through your diet, then supplementation can be especially important for you. Like is the case with vitamin D, men who are deficient in zinc and magnesium will also have suboptimal testosterone. So EVL Test provides 40% of your daily requirement for magnesium and 200% of your daily requirement for zinc. That being said, keep in mind that if you're already getting enough of these minerals through your diet and lifestyle, then topping up your levels even further will not increase your testosterone. Another point to keep in mind is that after vitamin D, magnesium deficiencies are actually the second most common micronutrient deficiency in Western developed countries. Zinc deficiencies aren't as common, but if you're an athlete or you sweat a lot or you live in a tropical climate, warm climate, then zinc supplementation can be important for you because a lot of it is actually lost through sweat. The ZMA complex is definitely a good ingredient to include in a testosterone booster, but don't think that it's actually a booster, alright? It's more like something that's going to normalize your levels more than actually boost them above the normal range. ZMA tends to develop some hype online, but at the end of the day, just know that it's a combination of zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6, alright? These are not minerals which you can't get from food, so if you're eating foods that are already high in these minerals, then you don't really need to supplement with them, alright? But the fact that EVL Test contains them is definitely a plus point. So the main ingredient in EVL Test testosterone booster is actually D-aspartic acid. I've done an entire video on D-aspartic acid and its influence on testosterone in a whole nother video, which you can check out in the link in the description, but I'll give you a quick overview in this video as well. So D-aspartic acid has actually developed a reputation for being a very powerful testosterone booster because it is actually naturally present in the human body, more primarily in the pituitary gland, where it can trigger the production of GnRH, which is a precursor for LH, which is a precursor for testosterone. So in theory, supplementing with D-aspartic acid should increase your testosterone levels. But when we take a look at the research, this is not exactly the case. So the study that actually brought D-aspartic acid into the spotlight was performed in 42 healthy men that were given 3 grams of D-aspartic acid for 12 days, after which their testosterone levels elevated by 42%. That being said, a point that's often excluded from the study is that 3 days later, after they ended supplementation, testosterone levels immediately began to drop. So although supplementation seems to increase testosterone levels in the short term, the long-term effects of it are not exactly the same. And this fact was demonstrated in another study in which 28 resistance-trained men were given 3 grams of D-aspartic acid for 28 days, after which their testosterone levels remained unchanged. In another study, resistance-trained men were brought in and split into 3 groups. Men in the first group got 3 grams of D-aspartic acid, men in the second group got 6 grams of D-aspartic acid, and men in the third group got placebo. Each of the subjects was also put on a 4-day per week resistance training program, but after the 4-week period, D-aspartic supplementation at the dose of 3 grams failed to have an influence on testosterone. And the surprising thing is that the subjects that were given 6 grams of D-aspartic acid actually experienced a major decrease in testosterone levels. So yeah, the research on D-aspartic acid and its influence on testosterone levels is completely inconclusive. In other words, D-aspartic acid is not a proven testosterone booster. Next up on the EVL Test ingredient formula is Tribulus terrestris. So Tribulus is perhaps the most popular ingredient added to testosterone boosters, but the truth of the matter is that it is not an effective herb. Multiple studies have found that supplementing with Tribulus fails to have an influence on testosterone levels. And I've done an entire video on Tribulus and its effects on testosterone and all the research below, but the bottom line is that supplement companies continue to add it to their testosterone boosters because it boosts libido. And an important thing to understand is that testosterone and libido are not the same thing. Although increasing your testosterone levels can boost your sex drive, increased libido does not directly translate to higher testosterone levels as well. But the reason that Tribulus continues to sell so well is because men think that it's working. So keep in mind, just because a supplement can boost your sex drive does not mean that it's boosting your testosterone levels as well. Alright, so next up on EVL Test ingredient formula is a herb called Fenugreek. Again, I've done an entire video on Fenugreek and its effects on testosterone plus all the scientific research as well, but I'll give you a quick overview right now. So regarding the research on Fenugreek and its effectiveness at boosting testosterone, again, the research is completely inconclusive. Some studies show a minor increase, some studies show no change, and some studies actually show that Fenugreek supplementation decreases DHT levels. DHT, aka dihydrotestosterone, is actually a derivative of testosterone which is 5 times more potent. And although elevated levels of DHT can result in male pattern baldness, a lot of the benefits that we associate with higher levels of testosterone can actually be tied back to DHT. In other words, lower levels of DHT are definitely something that we don't want. But at the end of the day, Fenugreek is not a proven testosterone booster. Alright, and the final ingredient in the EVL Test formula is DIIM. DIIM is a compound that naturally occurs in dark leafy greens like kale, spinach, and broccoli, and it is known for its aromatase inhibiting effects. Aromatase is the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen, so by inhibiting aromatase, DIIM allows more testosterone to remain unconverted. Not only that, but DIIM also has a role to play in estrogen metabolism, which means that it converts more potent forms of estrogen into less potent forms of estrogen. So yeah, DIIM is definitely an ingredient that I like to see in a testosterone boosting supplement. Alright, and that wraps it up for the EVL Test ingredient formula. So I just want to wrap up by saying that although EVL Test is one of the better selling testosterone boosters on the market, popularity does not translate into effectiveness. Before taking any supplement, it is your responsibility to look through the research and actually find out whether it is proven to work. I've done my best in providing you with the information that I've found, and if you want to dive deeper into each of the individual studies, you can check out my complete blog post on the topic of EVL Test's review and ingredient formula, and I've provided videos that go over each of the ingredients individually. But if testosterone optimization is something that you're interested in, you can check out my quiz, which is linked below this video, which will show you how to go about making the simple diet and lifestyle changes that will allow you to optimize your levels. With all that being said, this has been Mo Saleem from TripleYourT.com. I hope that this video provided you with the evidence-based review that you were looking for, and I'll see you soon.